you're new to this channel, this is also a special guest. Her name is Alli, and we thought it'd be a really fun idea to go ahead and do a collaboration video on how to shop zero waste for groceries in particular. So Alli, do you want to just briefly introduce yourself and what you do on your channel?
Yeah, totally. So hi, I'm Alli. I share about ethical fashion and green beauty and travel and also living a low waste lifestyle. So I'm really excited about this collab because on Christine's channel, we're going to talk about her 5 zero waste tips. And then on my channel, we're going to talk about some ways that you can shop lower waste if you don't have access to a bulk section or co-op or things like that. So I think this is going to be really fun.
Yeah, so with that, we're just going to go ahead into the 5 basic tips of how to reduce your waste or grocery shop without any waste at all. So the first tip to reduce your waste when you're going grocery shopping is to plan ahead. And I touched upon this in some of my food waste videos from a Zero Waste Week series I did quite a long time ago. So I'll also put the link for all of those tips as to how to reduce your food waste to even start in this video as well. But it's really important to take inventory of what you have, take a look and see what you're actually going to eat during the week, when you're going to be eating out, and then plan how much food you actually need.
I think that's a great point. I feel like reducing your food waste and starting with that is almost just as important as reducing your plastic or packaging waste, because if you're buying all this beautiful package-free food but then composting it or even throwing it out, it's not saving anything really.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that one of the things that I like to do personally at home is I always keep a list of things I need to buy on my refrigerator, and I just go through and then always just continue to compile that list, and I have a good set list for the next week. So our second tip is regarding containers. If the store does allow containers, it's important to determine how many you actually need, because it's no fun bringing a bunch of these because they can be pretty heavy. So what I like to do is once I look at my grocery list for the week, I determine how many containers I need, what sizes I need as well, and then I try to bring a few extra just in case if I want to buy a special treat.
I feel like with zero waste shopping, you are gonna have to plan a little bit more ahead of time. You can't just go to the store after work if you don't have any of your stuff with you. But I feel like once you get in the hang of it, or get in the rhythm of shopping this way, it becomes easier and it becomes a little bit more second nature.
Yeah, definitely. So the third tip that we have is about packing and organizing all the stuff that you have to bring to the store. And this is one of the questions I got on my Instagram stories as well, regarding how to keep things from clanging around in your bag. So I don't do this personally, but I've seen a lot of people use wine bottle carriers as a way to separate their jars. So it might come in a compartment of 6 and you can put jars in there individually.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
Otherwise, what I do is I try to keep everything upright in my bag if possible, putting the largest items on the bottom at first, and then when I stack the jars on top of each other, I just make sure that they aren't tipped over and that they try to stay upright. But otherwise, what I do is I actually have a couple different bags for everything. So for one bag, I have all the empty containers, another bag I'm gonna have all the empty bags and the extra grocery bags, and then one large bag like this that might be empty and carrying everything that I have for the grocery trip in there.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it changes depending on what grocery store I go to. I don't shop at the same grocery store every week. So if I am shopping at a place that allows me to bring my own containers, I'll bring a separate bag like you were saying, and a lot of times I'll just bring a big basket because I feel like I can fit the heavy stuff on the bottom and then maybe have a smaller reusable bag that I can put all my produce in. So it just sort of depends.
And that is a very cute basket, by the way. Where'd you get it?
I love it. I got it at the flea market actually.
Ooh!
Yeah.
You guys have the best flea markets here, huh?
Thanks. Yeah, we do. I'm biased.
So our fourth tip is on shopping in the bulk section, how to do so. What I like to do is I bring a pencil case, and in there I might have a few pens, but I also have these refillable whiteboard markers right here. Yeah, they're called OSPen. Yeah. What I do is on the top of the container, I'll just go ahead and write the product number as well as the tare weight of the container, which is how much the container weighs when it's empty. So you can do this at home if you have a digital cooking scale, or if you go to the store, usually customer service might have a digital scale as well that you could use.
So for me, I just use a Sharpie when I'm writing the tare weight and the item number on the bottom, just because that's what I have. For my grocery store that I shop at, we don't have a specific customer service area. We just weigh them, at the cashiers. So I like to go to one cashier and get it weighed and then go back to that same person so I don't have to explain myself over again, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Always easier.
Because it's not always as common in my area at least, so.
I guess one more last thing to note is that we do both prefer actually using a wider mouth container.
Absolutely.
The reason being is because sometimes when you fill things at the store, it's just easy to spill things. So if you have a wider container, it just avoids the spills. And one other cool tip that I personally don't use, but some others might, is using a funnel or bring a little stainless steel funnel to also make that process easier, putting things into your container. And then going into bags actually, so we both use bags as well in the bulk section. Yeah, they're really good for rice, grains, beans, things like that. So for these bags in particular, they have a drawstring right here. So what happens for really small things like rice or beans or lentils, they might fall out of the hole. So what the cashier did for me at a Whole Foods once is she just looped it around like so, and she just brought it through, so then there's a little knot essentially at the top, and that keeps things from coming out. And I think it's a really great way to just control things before they all spill on the floor or something. I don't know. Let's just avoid the spill.
That's happening.
So the last tip that we have is in regards to buying things over the counter or at a deli per se, if you want to get meat or cheeses or maybe even bakery items. So one of the things that's really important is to really consider the fact that you're probably going to be interacting with another human being, and it might not be their normal routine to be taking a container from someone, pre-weighing it, putting something in, and they might get a little bit grumpy at you. So the first and the most important thing is to smile and to ask very nicely if you can use your own container with another human being, and it might not be their normal routine to be taking a container from someone, pre-weighing it, putting something in, and they might get a little bit grumpy at you. So the first and the most important thing is to smile and to ask very nicely if you can use your own container.
I do the same thing. I use a container like this sometimes in my deli section to get hummus if I'm not making it at home. And the first time I did it, the person didn't know how to take the tear off correctly, so I ended up paying like $9 for hummus, which was my fault because I should have walked them through like you were saying, because I think it's important to remember that we're asking for something that's out of the norm and to just be patient and kind.
So typically what I do when I go to the deli is I will ask the person at the counter to go ahead and just weigh the meat or the cheese or whatever it is just by itself on a sleeve or whatever, and they can just go ahead and put it into here once it's done, and they'll print the sticker off that just indicates what the actual item weight is and how much it costs. So sometimes people actually like to tear it on the scale, others don't, they just put it in separately. I think that's a little bit easier for me if they just keep it on the side.
And that's nice too, because then when you take it to the cashier, they don't have to weigh it or do anything special with it because it's already been done by the person at the juice bar or deli or whatever.
If you want to get more tips on how to shop at a conventional grocery store and to reduce your waste, be sure to check out Alli's video as well, because we're going to be going over some great tips that are there which are really useful and important as well, even if you do have access to bulk in your area. So
well, yeah. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. And you have to talk about your book.
Oh yeah, should I talk about it now?
Yeah, talk about it now.
Oh,
the people want to know.
I want to do a shameless plug. I have my book now physically, which is going to be coming out in October, I believe October 4th or 11th. So if you have the chance to pre-order, there will also be an ebook version coming out live as well.
Oh, I didn't know there was an ebook. That's really cool.
But the physical one's very nice too.
It's so beautiful. I was looking at it earlier, guys, and the paper quality, I was just like oohing and awing over it. It's so beautiful, and the photos are gorgeous, and obviously the content is really top-notch as well. So definitely pre-order it. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Christine.
A lot of the tips that I mentioned here are also in the book, and also more as well. So would definitely recommend this because it's a really great primer to building your own sustainable home.
Yay.
Cool. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
That was perfect.
Yeah.